Good morning. Let's see, it's 5:41 a.m. Let's see what we're going to do today. This one is going to be just a general instructional from the very beginning. Let's go ahead and take a look at pricing. This is what you'd have to do to set up what I'm about to show you, which is how to do some social stuff that's pretty cool. So if you look at prices, the way they've done this, they've actually restructured everything recently, which is really good of them. The plan I'm on is a Teams plan. I don't see any need to do anything more potent than that. But if you were to get started with what I'm looking at you needing, you probably need to be paying about $50 a month baseline and have around 2,000 tasks. Okay. Custom logic with pass. Yeah, this is a good one to have. Here you do have limited actions. This isn't going to be sufficient for your needs. Yeah, you're going to need to at least be paying this much each month. Cool. So get that in mind of what your costs are coming out. You can run up to 2,000 tasks per month. We'll go from there. Okay. Let me show you what we got going on here. I'm going to walk you through everything. So let's log in. All right. First things first, I'm going to take you to the app we're going to look at, and then we're going to build it. All right. That's a good one too. I like that one. Let's go to Zap History, just because it's an easier way for me to navigate. Let's see, what have we automated so far in the last little bit here? We've ran 137 total tasks. Okay, if you don't know what a task is, um, a task is essentially any time an action takes place in Zapier, anything. Whether it's the app running, it's a trigger running, it's an action. Okay, so keep that in mind. And right here, you're looking at how many I did so far today, 14 tasks. But let's look at actual runs because that's important. Every single thing you do, ooh, that was an error. That's good to know. Anyways, this is the app we're going to show you today. Okay, and then interesting. Hmm. Ah, there we are. That was ran on the 6th. This was, I follow a woman on TikTok. Her name's Rachel Woods. She's a good one. She knows a lot and she shares a lot. And I try to do the same thing she does. So we'll actually go over this one and we'll show you how this is structured. Okay. So first of all, you go into the app itself. View an editor. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to do create Zap instead. You go from the very beginning. Well, this is what we're building right here. Okay. Let's switch this into the new mode, the visual editor. And if you don't know how to do this, you do the early access features. And if you don't know how to do that, you go to the support portal and you just basically type in early access and then it shows you sign up, boom. And that's where you start. So here's the first one. What I've done here, we're going to walk through this, is first and foremost, I created an RSS feed from rss.app. You're going to have to pay, I think, $9 a month for this. If you pay for the annual subscription, they'll give you up to 15 custom feeds. And what you'll do is you'll go in there and you'll look at each of those feeds and you'll decide how you want to customize it by, for instance, selecting a YouTube channel, selecting a TikTok channel, selecting someone you follow on Twitter. I don't know if it does that last one. I didn't check, but it does quite a few different social media feeds. So I did that. I customized this one from her from TikTok. I built it out. And there's a reason I did this. Now, I ran into an issue when I was trying to build this out initially where you run into a backlog of building things out, or you run too many things all at once and it looks really fake. And what we're doing right now, just so we're clear, I should probably have started with that, but oh well, we're gonna have to deal with it. We're building out a social media posting system that will take the raw information from someone's RSS feed, and then you build out your own persona that matches your personal profile. This takes work, by the way, this part. And there are ways you can do this. I'll show you different things you can do. But you build this out, and then what it'll do is you use web page questions. This is a beta feature by Zapier. It will go in right here. It will take the link data, and these are the questions we'll ask it. What is this article about? What are the key points of the article? This is its AI that they're using. I don't know what their backbone is, if it's their own or if it's a GPT model. But it will go in the backbone, it will ask these questions, and then it will tweet it. You are James Brady. This is a really simple persona. I need to do a lot more work on this, and I actually could right now, but I'm not going to go into that. Um, you build out your persona, and then it will use the model you're using. I use the 0613, which by the way just means June 13th. And this is a model that will no longer update after June 13th. Why is that important? When it only is trained through 2021, let's be clear, for this GPT model, but if you select it and you select a normal model, it's going to update over time. And as it updates over time, as they're adjusting the model, they're matching it to what they think is ideal, it will change the way it behaves. Meaning, even if you use the exact same prompt, like language, it will behave differently, which is a concern actually. I've been finding GPTs becoming more and more difficult for people to use. And that worries me. Someone like me I can do these things. We'll just leave it at that. But I worry about the average person who doesn't really have the ability to think these things through clearly and understand the context. If you're working with one of these AIs, it would help to have an understanding here of how you're building this. You're working with a child that is brilliant, okay? Absolutely brilliant, smarter than you, and I'm not joking by any stretch of the imagination. So when you talk to it, or you're interacting with GPT and you're not getting intelligent responses, it's more a reflection that you don't know how to communicate. Straight up. You don't know how to talk to it, and you don't have any grit to really think it through and to work through what the prompts look like, so you give up. But it is extraordinarily valuable. And if you're looking for really good, easy answers that are succinct and accurate, make sure you're using the GPT Model 4, which has been just released to public use. I was trying to get on the list forever, and I couldn't because I'm not qualified. I'm not a programmer technically. Let's see here. So this is the different things about it. These are the max tokens it allows. So just so you know, a token, I'm going to break this out for all the newbies learning all this. A token can be a word, it can be a space, it can be a letter. It's all about feeding information in composite. How do I put this? It's feeding ideas into the AI. An idea is a word, an idea is a space. And each of these things come together to have meaning. If you're going to get mathematical about it, they're variables. They're constructs that contain meaning that when they're associated with each other, the AI can understand how it works. And it has a very good understanding of these things because of what it's experienced. Being trained through everything through 2021, from what I've heard, the big difference between a 3 model and a 3.5, and this is important, is that they fed it code. When you feed something programming code, you're feeding it logic, you're feeding it reasoning, and it basically saw the way humans reason over and over and over, and it learned how people work. So there's that. And this is important for you if this is your first time seeing this, because you want to go into this and you want to build it out and you want to improve everything. Now, going to the next point, okay? These are premium apps, okay? In order to do this correctly, you want this to post. You don't want it to be too often. Don't pick a feed that is just like Hacker News, for instance. I did that, where it literally updates every minute. I posted so many times to my LinkedIn that day. It was so depressing. But everything I'm doing here is my personality. It's my persona that I have for me. And when I do work for other people, I will build out the persona for them and help them do that. And it's to work with me directly. We won't go into that. It's not important. Assistant response. So this is where it's taking the response from this GPT and plugging it in here. If you're not sure how this works, let me show you really quick. Okay, cool. Now we're editing it. So breaking it out for you. Conversate, like these are the options you can pick: conversation, extract, structured text. These are the things it can do. So we'll select conversation. Okay, continue. We'll use this model, continue. Just telling you stuff. These are the responses it got from here. Logically, it's plugging them into here. Select this, and then you go down here. I named it this for some reason. And then you do this, 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 and you can also go down here and, oh, load more than I don't have it. I have to update the link. That's interesting. Oh, they're rolling it out. Duh. Okay, very good. So, go into here, you'll pick your GPT model, and you'll push it through. This memory key is basically a reference to a previous conversation. You don't need that. These are the tokens. This is the temperature. This has to do with how random its output is, meaning if you put it higher, the best way to put it is the more creative it is, really the more divergent it is, which is different. You can have, for instance, a person like Elon Musk who's divergent from the standard population, who's highly intelligent, highly successful, but then you can have somebody equally divergent from him who's in a gutter on the streets, on Skid Row. And that's really the reality of it. You have these divergent personalities that are at least one or two deviations outside of the standard. I would say that I would estimate Elon Musk is at least two deviations outside of the norm. He could be more, but I don't think so. I think he honestly is just someone who decided to pursue what he wanted. So then it tweets it here, continuing, continue. Here it's taking the response it generated from GPT. You can actually do a URL. So if you're taking this tweet from a feed, right here, for instance, I could go here and I could take the actual link or title, description, and plug it in. As long as it's a URL, that's the key. So let's go right here. And I'm not going to blow this up right now. I'm not going to break anything. There will take quite a bit of troubleshooting to do this, but you see, this is the basic idea, and it does this for each and every one of these. So you have each of these models. For instance, for LinkedIn, you want to do a title and you want to do a post. And the way you typically want to do all this is you need to go into GPT, look up what's the ideal posting length, what is my target audience, i.e., what is my ideal customer profile, how do they see things, what do they like to see, what's their content. If you're trying to appeal to an audience, if you're trying to get your own thoughts out and express yourself, then do that. But in many instances, I've had people tell me you need to dumb it down talking to me, but you got to be who you are, frankly. So, which means I'm going to lower my audience by a lot because of the words I use and the way I speak. It often leaves people feeling alienated because I don't actually communicate with them on their level. And that's sad. I don't want to do that, but at the same time, I have to draw a line. If I'm working with an individual or a group, I can do it differently. But you do this here to do the article. Here, you share the update. You can do the same thing again here and then share it to Facebook. But here's something you need to understand. What is mixed into all this? You have to set up this with the RSS app. You have to set this up within Zapier to link your account. You have to set up an API for OpenAI. And then you have to set up a billing method to pay them to use that API. It's not very expensive. If you're using a 4 model, it's going to be a lot more expensive. I got to look at the actual price breakdown again to see what it's at. I haven't paid attention. But this is the basic overview of the system and how it works. And I'm always willing to build anything that anyone wants. I will build it once and put it out online for someone else to be able to take. And this way I can really give away everything I'm trying to do, which is my goal. I want to help everyone out there build as fast as possible everything they want to build. So, here to help.